Every morning, before the sun even touched the snow-covered mountains, U.S. veteran Cole Harris saw the same haunting sight, alone. German Shepherd sitting perfectly still at the edge of the tree line, staring directly at his remote cabin. The wind could be brutal, the snow knee-deep, but the dog never missed a day. It never barked, never moved closer, never looked away. At first, Cole thought it was just a stray. But then he noticed the scars, the stiff posture, the faded canine tattoo on its ear. This wasn't an ordinary dog. This was a retired police canine. And the way it watched him, silent, unwavering, felt less like curiosity and more like a warning. But one morning, the clearing was empty. No paw prints. No silhouette. No guardian in the snow. Cole felt a chill far colder than winter. Dogs like that don't just disappear. Something was wrong. Terribly wrong. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. Cole Harris had lived alone in his mountain cabin for years, tucked away from noise, trouble, and memories he wasn't ready to face. Winter mornings were usually predictable, quiet, cold, and empty. But 3 weeks earlier, something changed. When Cole opened his cabin door one dawn, a lone German Shepherd sat at the edge of the snowy clearing, staring at him with unblinking focus. The dog didn't bark, didn't growl, didn't even shift its weight. It simply watched, as if assessing him. Or waiting. At first, Cole tried ignoring it. He went about his chores, chopped wood, shoveled snow, and fed the fire. But every time he glanced outside, the dog was still there, motionless, patient, eyes locked onto him like it was guarding the cabin. Cole felt a faint unease. Stray dogs wandered these woods sometimes, but none behaved like this. There was purpose in its stare, quiet, deliberate, unsettling. Something about this dog wasn't ordinary. Cole wasn't the kind of man who feared much. But the dog's presence awakened something he'd tried to bury. During deployment, he had learned to read danger before it arrived. Instinct mattered. Silence mattered. And the way this dog watched him felt painfully familiar, like the calm before something broke. Over the next few days, Cole studied the shepherd from a distance. That's when he noticed the details: the faint limp in its right leg, a patch of fur scarred near the ribs, the faded identification tattoo barely visible on its ear. A retired canine, the kind of dog trained to sense what humans couldn't. Yet the dog never approached him. Even when Cole placed food a few feet closer to the cabin, the shepherd refused to cross an invisible line, choosing instead to sit in the snow with quiet dignity. It wasn't begging. It wasn't lost. It was watching him. For a reason he still couldn't understand. On the 22nd morning, Cole opened his cabin door expecting to see the familiar silhouette waiting in the snow. But the clearing was empty. No shepherd. No motion. Just a pale, untouched field of white stretching all the way to the tree line. For the first time in weeks, the mountain felt too quiet, wrong in a way Cole couldn't explain. He stepped onto the porch, scanning the horizon. "Where'd you go, buddy?" he muttered under his breath, surprised at the concern creeping into his voice. The dog had become part of his mornings, a strange constant he hadn't realized he depended on until now. Cole walked toward the usual spot, his boots sinking into the snow. That's when he noticed something, a faint disturbance in the powder, half buried under the overnight snowfall. Paw prints, but uneven, scattered, as if the dog had struggled. A few feet farther, a streak of dark crimson broke the white. Blood. Cole's breath caught. His pulse thudded in his ears. The shepherd wasn't just gone, something had happened, something violent, and whatever it was, it had taken the dog into the woods. Cole knelt beside the bloodstain, his breath fogging in the icy air. The snow around it was churned up evidence of a struggle. His instincts, long dormant, snapped awake. He'd tracked wounded soldiers before. Tracking a wounded dog felt painfully similar. He followed the uneven paw prints leading toward the dense line of trees, each step tightening the knot in his chest. The farther he went, the harsher the storm became. Snow whipped across his face, stinging like shards of glass. The prints grew deeper, dragging, as if the shepherd had been barely standing. Branches snapped under Cole's boots, mirroring the broken twigs scattered along the path, another sign. The dog had forced its way through despite its injuries. A few minutes deeper into the woods, Cole found something half buried beneath the snow, a torn scrap of black fabric. When he lifted it, his stomach twisted. It wasn't just cloth, it was a fragment of a canine service vest. The stitching still showing, part of an official emblem. He closed his fist around it. This dog wasn't running away. It had been fighting to reach something or someone. The trail led Cole to an old, half-collapsed shed tucked deep within the forest, one he hadn't seen in years. Its wooden walls leaned at odd angles, and the door hung crooked on a single hinge. A faint whimper drifted from inside, so soft Cole almost missed it. His heart lurched. He pushed the door open. There, curled on the frozen ground, was the German shepherd, weak, trembling, and barely conscious. Blood matted its side, and its breaths came in shallow, uneven bursts. Cole knelt beside the dog, gently sliding his hand under its head. "Hey, I'm here," he whispered as he checked the dog's injuries. His fingers brushed against a metal tag hidden beneath the fur. He lifted it and froze. He knew that number, that unit, that insignia. This dog wasn't just any retired canine. It had belonged to Cole's closest friend, Sergeant Nathan Briggs, the man who had saved Cole's life overseas and never made it home. A cold realization hit him. The dog hadn't been watching the cabin. It had been watching him. Cole wrapped the injured shepherd in his coat and carried him through the storm, each step heavy but determined. The dog's head rested weakly against his chest, its breaths faint but steady. By the time Cole reached the cabin, his arms burned, his legs shook, yet he didn't slow, not once. He worked through the night, cleaning the wounds, warming the dog by the fire, refusing to let it slip away. Hours passed before the shepherd finally opened its eyes, gazing at Cole with a look that said everything: recognition, relief, trust. Cole exhaled a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. "You're safe now," he murmured. From that day on, the dog never sat at the tree line again. It lived beside Cole, not as a stray watcher in the snow, but as family.